How much do you know about Princess Diana? Let's take you through her lifetime. Diana Frances Spencer was born on the 1st of July 1961 at Park House, Sandringham, Norfolk. She was the fourth of 5 children of John Spencer, Viscount Althorp, and Frances Spencer. The Spencer family had been close allies with the British royal family for several generations. Her parents were hoping for a boy to carry on the family line, and so no name was chosen for a week, until they settled on Diana Frances after her mother and after Lady Diana Spencer, a many times great aunt who was also a prospective Princess of Wales. Within the family, she was also known informally as Dutch, a reference to her duchess-like attitude in childhood. On the 30th of August 1961, Diana was baptized at St. Mary Magdalene Church, Sandringham. She grew up with 3 siblings, which include Charles and Sarah. The royal family frequently holidayed at the neighboring Sandringham house, and Diana played with the Queen's sons Prince Andrew and Prince Edward. Diana was 7 years old when her parents divorced. Diana lived with her mother in London during her parents' separation in 1967, but during that year's Christmas holidays, Lord Althorp refused to let his daughter return to London with Lady Althorp. Shortly afterwards, he won custody of Diana with support from his former mother-in-law, Lady Fairmoy. In 1976, Lord Althorp married Rayne, Countess of Dartmouth. Diana's relationship with her stepmother was particularly bad. She resented Rayne, whom she called a bully. On one occasion, Diana pushed her down the stairs. She later described her childhood as very unhappy and very unstable, the whole thing. She became known as Lady Diana after her father later inherited the title of Earl Spencer in 1975. Diana was initially homeschooled under the supervision of her governess, Gertrude Allen. She began her formal education at Silfield Private School in King's Lynn, Norfolk, and moved to Riddlesworth Hall School, an all-girls boarding school near Thetford, when she was 9. She joined her sisters at Westheath Girls' School in Sevenoaks, Kent, in 1973. She did not perform well academically, failing her O-levels twice. Her outstanding community spirit was recognized with an award from Westheath. She left Westheath when she was 16. She also excelled in swimming and diving, and studied ballet and tap dance. After attending Institut Alpen-Bidimanet for 1 term, and leaving after the Easter term of 1978, Diana returned to London, where she shared her mother's flat with 2 school friends. In London, she took an advanced cooking course, but seldom cooked for her roommates. She took a series of low-paying jobs. She worked as a dance instructor for youth until a skiing accident caused her to miss 3 months of work. She then found employment as a playgroup preschool assistant, did some cleaning work for her sister Sarah and several of her friends, and acted as a hostess at parties. She spent time working as a nanny for the Robertsons, an American family living in London, and worked as a nursery teacher's assistant at the Young England School in Pimlico. In July 1979, her mother bought her a flat at Coleherne Court in Earl's Court as an 18th birthday present. She lived there with 3 flatmates until the 25th of February 1981. Diana first met Charles, Prince of Wales, the Queen's eldest son and heir apparent, when she was 16 in November 1977. He was then 29 and dating her older sister, Sarah. Charles and Diana were guests at a country weekend during the summer of 1980 when she watched him play polo and he took a serious interest in her as a potential bride. The relationship progressed when he invited her aboard the Royal Yacht Britannia for a sailing weekend to Cowes. This was followed by an invitation to Balmoral Castle to meet his family one weekend in November 1980. She was well received by the Queen Mother and the Duke of Edinburgh. Charles subsequently courted Diana in London. He proposed on the 6th of February 1981 at Windsor Castle, and she accepted, but their engagement was kept secret for 2.5 weeks. Their engagement became official on the 24th of February 1981. Diana selected her own engagement ring. Following the engagement, she left her occupation as a nursery teacher's assistant and lived for a short period at Clarence House, which was the home of the Queen Mother. She then lived at Buckingham Palace until the wedding, where, according to biographer Ingrid Seward, her life was incredibly lonely. Diana was the first Englishwoman to marry the first in line to the throne since Anne Hyde married the future James II over 300 years earlier. And she was also the first royal bride to have a paying job before her engagement. She made her first public appearance with Prince Charles in a charity ball in March 1981 at Goldsmiths Hall, where she met Grace, Princess of Monaco. 20-year-old Diana became the Princess of Wales when she married Charles on the 29th of July 1981. The wedding was held at St. Paul's Cathedral, which offered more seating than Westminster Abbey, a church that was generally used for royal nuptials. The service was widely described as a fairy tale wedding, and was watched by a global television audience of 750 million people. Diana wore a dress valued at £9,000 with a 25-foot train. After she became Princess of Wales, Diana automatically acquired rank as the third highest female in the British Order of Precedence, and was fifth or sixth in the orders of precedence of her other realms, following the Queen, the relevant Viceroy, the Duke of Edinburgh, the Queen Mother, and the Prince of Wales. The couple had residences at Kensington Palace and Highgrove House, near Tetbury. On the 5th of November 1981, Diana's pregnancy was announced. In January 1982, 12 weeks into the pregnancy, Diana fell down a staircase at Sandringham, suffering some bruising, and the royal gynecologist Sir George Pinker was summoned from London. The fetus was uninjured. Diana later confessed that she had intentionally thrown herself down the stairs because she was feeling so inadequate. On the 21st of June 1982, Diana gave birth to the couple's first son, Prince William. She subsequently suffered from postpartum depression after her first pregnancy. Amidst some media criticism, she decided to take William, who was still a baby, on her first major tours of Australia and New Zealand, and the decision was popularly applauded. By her own admission, Diana had not initially intended to take William until Malcolm Fraser, the Australian Prime Minister, made the suggestion. A second son, Harry, was born on the 15th of September 1984. The princess said she and Charles were closest during her pregnancy with Harry. She was aware their second child was a boy, but did not share the knowledge with anyone else, including Charles, as he was hoping for a girl. Diana gave her sons wider experiences than was usual for royal children. She rarely deferred to Charles or to the royal family. She chose their first given names, dismissed a royal family nanny and engaged one of her own choosing, selected their schools and clothing, planned their outings, and took them to school herself as often as her schedule permitted. She also organized her public duties around their timetables. Diana was reported to have described Harry as naughty, just like me, and William as my little wise old man, whom she started to rely on as her confidant by his early teens. 5 years into the marriage, the couple's incompatibility and age difference of 12 years became visible and damaging. Charles resumed his relationship with his former girlfriend Camilla Parker Bowles, and Diana later began one with Major James Hewitt, the family's former writing instructor. The media speculated that Hewitt, not Charles, was Harry's father based on the alleged physical similarity between Hewitt and Harry, but Hewitt and others have denied this. Harry was born 2 years before Hewitt and Diana began their affair. By 1987, cracks in their marriage had become visible and the couple's unhappiness and cold attitude towards one another were being reported by the press. In 1989, Diana was at a birthday party for Camilla's sister, Annabelle Elliott, when she confronted Camilla about her and Charles's extramarital affair. The Queen and Prince Philip hosted a meeting between Charles and Diana and unsuccessfully tried to effect a reconciliation. Philip wrote to Diana and expressed his disappointment at the extramarital affairs of both her and Charles. He asked her to examine their behavior from the other's point of view. The Duke was direct and Diana was sensitive. She found the letters hard to take, but nevertheless appreciated that he was acting with good intent. Philip later issued a statement, publicly denying the allegations of him insulting Diana. Journalist Martin Bashir interviewed Diana for the BBC current affairs show Panorama. The interview was broadcast on the 20th of November 1995. The princess discussed her own and her husband's extramarital affairs. Referring to Charles's relationship with Camilla, she said, "Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." She also expressed doubt about her husband's suitability for kingship. The interview proved to be the tipping point. On the 20th of December, Buckingham Palace announced that the Queen had sent letters to Charles and Diana, advising them to divorce. The Queen's move was backed by the Prime Minister and by senior Privy Councillors. In February 1996, Diana announced her agreement after negotiations with Charles and representatives of the Queen, irritating Buckingham Palace by issuing her own announcement of the divorce agreement and its terms. In July 1996, the couple agreed on the terms of their divorce.